You ever sit in a conversation and someone asks you a simple question and suddenly your mind goes blank? Or worse, your mind doesn't go blank, it's full, too full. You have ideas, opinions, things you want to say, but when you try to say them, it comes out messy, unclear, awkward. What I'm trying to say is, and in that moment, it feels like you just sounded less intelligent than you actually are. So you start talking less, you start holding back, you start thinking, maybe I'm just not good at expressing myself. But here's the truth. You're not bad at thinking, you're bad at translating your thoughts. And once you understand why that happens, you can fix it. Your thoughts are too fast and too messy. Let's start with what's actually going on inside your head. Your brain isn't broken, it's overloaded. At any given moment, you have half-formed ideas, emotions, memories, random associations, all happening at the same time. It's like having 20 tabs opened in your brain. And when you try to speak, you're not pulling from one clean, organized thought, you're trying to grab something from chaos. Imagine trying to explain something while flipping through 20 different pages at once. Of course, it won't come out clearly. That's exactly what's happening in your brain. And this is why you might start a sentence and do not know how to finish it, jump from one idea to another, repeat yourself without realizing. It's not because you don't know what to say, it's because your thoughts aren't organized enough to be spoken. Your brain is faster than your mouth. Here's another reason that might surprise you. You think faster than you speak, way faster. Your brain can process thousands of words per minute, but your mouth, maybe 150. So what happens? Your brain is already on the next idea while your mouth is still trying to finish the first one. That's why you lose your train of thought mid-sentence, you interrupt yourself, you say, wait, what was I saying? It feels like you're falling behind your own mind. And the more you try to catch up, the more pressure you feel. And the more pressure you feel, the worse your articulation becomes. You practice thinking, not speaking. Now let me ask you something honestly. How often do you practice speaking your thoughts out loud? Not texting, not thinking, actually speaking. Probably almost never. But you do think a lot. You analyze situations, replay conversations, overthink what you should have said. So your brain becomes really good at thinking internally, but not at expressing externally. And that's the gap, because articulation is not a talent, it's a trained skill. Think about it like this. You can understand music deeply, but if you've never practiced singing, it won't sound good. Same thing here. You understand your thoughts, but you've never trained your ability to deliver them. Fear is silently controlling you. Now let's talk about something deeper. Fear. Not obvious fear, subtle fear. The kind that whispers things like, what if I sound stupid? What if this doesn't make sense? What if they judge me? So while you're speaking, your brain is doing two things at once, trying to express your idea and trying to protect you from embarrassment. And those two things don't work well together, because now you're filtering every word in real time. You hesitate, you overthink each sentence, you second guess yourself mid-speech. And that hesitation breaks your flow, even if your idea was good. You don't have a system. Here's something that changes everything. Clear speakers are not just confident, they're structured. They don't just talk randomly. Even if it looks natural, there's always a hidden structure behind what they're saying. Most clear communication follows a simple pattern. Point, explanation, example. But if you don't have this structure, your speech becomes unpredictable. You start talking without direction, you go off track, you lose your listener. And when your listener is confused, you feel it. And that makes you even more nervous, and it becomes a cycle. The game changer, the 1, 2, 3 rule. Now this is where everything changes, because most people don't struggle with ideas, they struggle with structure. And this one rule will fix that. The 1, 2, 3 rule. 1, point. 2, explanation. 3, example. That's it. Sounds simple, but this is what separates people who sound clear from people who sound confused. Let's break it down deeply. Step 1, the point. Before you say anything, ask yourself, what am I actually trying to say? Not everything, just the main idea. Most people skip this. They start talking without knowing their point. That's why they ramble. Clear speakers don't do that. They anchor everything around one idea. For example, instead of saying, yeah, so productivity is kind of hard and sometimes I feel like, instead they say, I think most people struggle with productivity because they lack structure. That's a point. It's clear, it's direct, it gives direction to everything that follows. Step 2, the explanation. Now you answer, why is this true? This is where you expand your idea. You give reasoning, you connect the dots. For example, because when you don't have structure, you rely on motivation, and motivation is inconsistent. Now your listener understands your thinking. Step 3, the example. This is where clarity becomes powerful because examples make ideas real. Like when someone plans to study but doesn't decide when or how, they end up procrastinating. Now, your idea is not just understood, it's felt. So why does this work so well? Because it matches how people understand information. Your brain and everyone else's brain loves structure. When you follow point, explanation, example, you guide the listener step by step instead of confusing them. And here's a real-life comparison. Without structure, you talk, jump between ideas, repeat yourself, and hope people understand. With the 1, 2, 3 rule, you lead, you guide, you sound confident even if you're nervous. For example, here's the messy version. Yeah, I think people don't really focus, and it's kind of because phones and stuff, and also habits. And here's the clear version. People struggle to focus because their environment is full of distractions. For example, constant phone notifications break your attention. Same idea, different delivery. Completely different impact. And this is the secret most people miss. You don't need better thoughts, you need better delivery. And this rule gives you that instantly. How to use this daily. Now let's get practical and talk about how can you use it in real life. 1. Pause before you speak. This is simple but powerful. Before you respond, pause for 2 seconds. It gives your brain time to organize. And here's the key. People don't judge you for pausing, they judge you for being unclear. 2. Start speaking out loud daily. This is non-negotiable. You need reps. Talk to yourself. Explain what you've learned today. Break down a video you watched. At first, it will feel awkward, but that awkwardness is what we call growth. 3. Record yourself even if you hate it. This one changes everything. When you hear yourself, you notice where you ramble, where you lose clarity, where you sound confident, and slowly, you improve. 4. Simplify your language. Stop trying to sound impressive. Seriously, the smartest communicators sound simple. Instead of using complex words, focus on making your idea easy to understand, because clarity equals confidence. 5. Accept imperfection while speaking. You'll mess up, you'll pause, restart, forget words. That's normal. Fluent speakers don't avoid mistakes, they move through them without panicking. And here's the truth most people never realize. Being articulate is not about being smarter than others, it's about being clearer than others. And clarity is a skill you can build. Right now, you're not bad at expressing yourself, you're just untrained. But once you train this skill, everything changes. You speak with confidence, people listen more, you feel understood, and that changes how you see yourself. So, next time you struggle to explain something, don't think I'm bad at speaking, think I just need structure and practice. Because once you fix that, you unlock a whole new level of confidence. If this video helped you, make sure to like it and subscribe for more content like this because the better you communicate, the more powerful you become.